I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The week begins with an undercurrent of tension that slowly tightens its grip on Port Charles as secrets inch closer to the surface and loyalties are quietly tested. By Wednesday, April 29th, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself standing on the edge of a revelation that could change everything, her instincts guiding her toward a truth she can no longer ignore. In a quiet but emotionally charged conversation, Lucas Jones suggests she may be right to question her choices, his words carrying a weight that lingers long after they're spoken. The doubt circling Jocelyn seems to point toward Carly Spencer, though the shadow of Britt Westbourne still looms in the background, leaving uncertainty hanging thick in the air. At the same time, Willow Tate is blindsided when Elizabeth confronts her about Drew Kane's desperate call for help, a moment that rattles Willow to her core. Elizabeth's pointed question, why Willow's own mother would tell her something so different, opens the door to suspicion, hinting that Nina Reeves may not be telling the whole truth. Across town, Jack Brennan coolly suggests to Nina that it's time to reset the tone of their relationship, a statement that feels less like a peace offering and more like a strategic move in a much larger game. As emotions simmer, Michael Corinthos grows increasingly confident, telling Carly he has finally figured out how to deal with Willow, his determination hinting at a plan that could have far-reaching consequences. Meanwhile, Curtis Ashford confides in Laura, voicing his suspicions that Isaiah Gannon may have played a role in Jordan Ashford's crash, even as the truth remains tangled in uncertainty. Questions swirl about Isaiah's story involving his car in the parking garage, raising the unsettling possibility that what seemed like a simple accident may have been something far more calculated. The mystery deepens as speculation grows about who Jordan nearly collided with that night and whether hidden footage might hold the answers no one is ready to face. Amid all of this, Lulu Spencer's anger reaches a boiling point, her emotions threatening to spill over as tensions rise with those closest to her. Whether her fury is directed at Britt, the man pretending to be Nathan, or even her own son Rocco, it's clear that something is about to fracture. When the idea of sending Rocco away is raised, it lands like a shockwave, leaving Lulu grappling with the painful question of how far she's willing to go to protect her child. By Thursday, April 30th, the walls begin to close in around Carly Spencer as Lucas confronts her, his suspicions cutting dangerously close to the truth she's been hiding. The possibility that he may uncover her connection to Valentine Cassadine and the betrayal it represents adds a sharp edge to their already strained relationship. Elsewhere, Britt Westbourne makes a move that could ignite chaos, revealing a secret that exposes Jocelyn as far more than she appears. In a tense and unsettling moment, Cassius Faison corners Jocelyn in her own apartment, grabbing her arm as she tries to push him out. The encounter charged with confusion and danger, as she still believes he is Nathan. Lucy Coe stirs the pot in her own way, deliberately provoking Ava Jerome in a calculated effort to take down Jen Sidwell, while Ethan Lovett grows increasingly suspicious of the shifting dynamics around him. At the same time, Brennan is suddenly alarmed, his instincts driving him straight to Carly's door, where the truth may be waiting just beyond the threshold. Friday, May 1st. Brings a fragile sense of hope for Jordan Ashford when she receives an uplifting visit, a rare moment of light in an otherwise heavy week. But that warmth is quickly overshadowed by the growing tension surrounding Carly, as Lucas presses her with a chilling question about what Brennan will do if he discovers her betrayal. The stakes feel higher than ever when spoilers hint that Carly's time may be running out, and the image of Brennan standing outside her bedroom door, anger simmering beneath the surface, paints a picture of imminent confrontation. Inside, Carly waits, vulnerable and anxious, wrapped in uncertainty as the possibility of being caught looms large. Whether Valentine has already slipped away or the truth is about to explode into the open remains unclear, but the sense of impending fallout is undeniable. Around them, smaller but no less significant tensions unfold, as Brooklyn Quartermain's irritation grows and Sonny Corinthos pays Britt an unexpected visit, hinting at deeper connections and looming conflicts. As the calendar turns to the week of May 4th through the 8th, the pace quickens and the pressure intensifies, pulling every storyline into sharper focus. Cassius finds himself walking a dangerous line, trying to protect Rocco while staying entangled in the agendas of Sidwell and Cullum, a balancing act that threatens to unravel his fragile connection with Lulu. The question of whether he will expose Jocelyn or continue his deception adds another layer of suspense, especially as Jocelyn remains unaware of the truth about his identity. Elizabeth refuses to let Drew's call for help fade into silence, her determination driving her deeper into a mystery that refuses to stay buried. Meanwhile, Michael's plan to take down Willow gains momentum, with Jacinda Bracken supporting him every step of the way, their alliance signaling trouble ahead. Brennan, too, may strike back if he discovers Willow's efforts to weaken the WSB, setting the stage for a powerful clash that could reshape everything. Amid these rising tensions, the truth about Carly's situation hangs in the balance, leaving everyone wondering whether she was truly caught or if it was all a carefully crafted illusion. Britt's work on the Cold Fusion project pushes forward with urgency, even as the threat posed by Cullum grows more immediate, his eventual release promising to unleash chaos. Valentine's desire to help Anna Devane adds another layer of complexity, especially as Brennan edges closer to uncovering where the fugitive has been hiding. Isaiah Gannon soon finds himself under intense scrutiny as the PCPD begins to question him about Jordan's crash, his fate tied to a web of suspicion that grows tighter by the day. At the same time, Brooklyn's internal struggle deepens, her conscience pulling her toward a confession that could change everything, even if it means defying Tracy Quartermain. And through it all, the emotional stakes continue to rise, as Britt refuses to let anything happen to Rocco, forcing her into an uneasy alliance with Lulu in a desperate attempt to keep him safe. Ethan's thirst for revenge against Sidwell pushes him towards Sunny, their potential partnership promising swift and dangerous consequences. Every storyline feels like it's building toward a breaking point, each character caught in a storm of secrets, ambition, and betrayal that refuses to settle. Meanwhile, over in a different world of glamour and ambition, a new chapter begins to unfold as Katie Logan stands at a crossroads, uncertain of what comes next after the overwhelming success of Eric Forrester's collection for Logan. The triumph, while exhilarating, leaves her with an unsettling fear of being seen as a one-hit wonder, pushing her to search for a new direction. Liam Spencer steps in with a bold idea, urging Hope Logan to leave Forrester Creations and join them, his vision fueled by the belief that she has long been undervalued. The possibility of Hope launching her own line under Logan carries a sense of promise, especially if she brings her brother Deke Sharp along, his untapped designs offering fresh potential. Yet even with this hopeful shift, a crucial piece remains missing: a lead designer capable of elevating the brand to new heights. As Katie weighs her options, the past begins to whisper possibilities, each more intriguing than the last. Familiar names like Clark Garrison and Nicole Avant surface as potential candidates, each carrying their own history and complications. The idea of Amber Moore returning adds a spark of unpredictability, though her complicated past with Bill and Liam casts doubt on whether she would truly fit. Even the possibility of Jack, the son of Brooke and Nick, stepping into the role brings its own dramatic implications, especially given his ties to both Logan and Forrester legacies. But then, like a storm gathering on the horizon, a far more explosive possibility emerges, one that could shake everything to its core. Morgan DeWitt, a figure from Ridge Forrester's troubled past, represents a choice that is as dangerous as it is powerful. Her history is steeped in obsession, heartbreak, and chaos, a story marked by manipulation, loss, and a descent into madness that once left devastation in its wake. The thought of her returning, not just as a designer, but as a force driven by unresolved emotions, carries a chilling intensity. And if Bill Spencer were to bring her into Logan, it wouldn't just be a business decision. It would be a calculated move to ignite old wounds and unleash a storm that Ridge and Brooke may not be prepared to face. In the end, both worlds stand on the brink of transformation, their characters caught in a delicate balance between past and present, truth and deception, hope and destruction. Every choice feels heavier, every secret more dangerous, as the stories move forward with a relentless momentum that promises drama, heartbreak, and unforgettable twists waiting just beyond the horizon. As the tension continues to build, the emotional currents running beneath Port Charles begin to surge with a force that can no longer be contained, pulling every character deeper into a web of consequences they may not be able to escape. The fragile alliances formed out of necessity start to crack under pressure, especially as Carly Spencer finds herself standing at the center of a storm she can no longer control. The fear of being exposed lingers in every glance and every silence, her world narrowing as the walls close in around her. If Jack Brennan uncovers the truth about Valentine Cassadine, it won't just be a betrayal, it will be a detonation, one that could shatter everything Carly has fought to protect. And yet, even as danger looms, there's a quiet defiance in her, a refusal to surrender to the chaos, though it's becoming painfully clear that time is no longer on her side. The question is no longer whether the truth will come out, but how devastating the fallout will be when it finally does. At the same time, Jocelyn Jack stands on the edge of her own reckoning, her secret life inching closer to exposure with every passing moment. Britt Westbourne's decision to reveal that Jocelyn is far more than she appears sends ripples of danger outward, placing Joss directly in the crosshairs of forces she may not be ready to face. Cassius Phaeton's presence becomes increasingly threatening, his actions unpredictable as he walks the fine line between protector and predator. The tension between what he pretends to be and who he truly is creates an atmosphere thick with unease, especially as Jocelyn remains unaware of the truth. If that illusion shatters, it won't just put her at risk, it could unravel everything connected to the WSB and beyond. And yet, beneath the fear and deception, there's a growing resilience in Jocelyn. A strength that suggests she may be more prepared for what's coming than anyone realizes. Elsewhere, the mystery surrounding Jordan Ashford's crash begins to tighten like a vice, with Isaiah Gannon now firmly in the spotlight as suspicion circles him from every direction. Curtis Ashford's determination to uncover the truth fuels the investigation, but his certainty may be blinding him to the complexity of what really happened. Every detail, every scratch on a car, every moment in that parking garage feels like a piece of a puzzle that refuses to come together cleanly. The possibility that the truth is far messier than anyone wants to admit hangs heavy in the air, threatening to upend relationships and expose uncomfortable realities. And as the PCPD closes in, Isaiah's fate hangs precariously in the balance, his silence and his story both carrying consequences that could change everything. In the shadows of it all, Brooklyn Quartermain wrestles with her conscience, the weight of what she knows, or fears she knows, pulling her closer to a decision that could either free her or destroy her. Meanwhile, the emotional stakes surrounding Rocco Falconeri rise to an almost unbearable level, forcing unlikely alliances and painful choices. Britt Westbourne's fierce determination to protect him collides with Lulu Spencer's equally powerful instincts as a mother, creating a volatile dynamic that is as fragile as it is necessary. Together, they are drawn into a shared mission, one that requires trust in a situation where trust is in dangerously short supply. Cassius's involvement only complicates matters further, his hidden agenda threatening to undermine everything they are trying to build. The looming presence of Sidwell and Cullum casts a long shadow over their efforts, a reminder that the danger they face is far from over. And as Ethan Levitt edges closer to aligning himself with Sonny Corinthos in a quest for revenge, the stakes escalate even further, hinting at a confrontation that could turn deadly in an instant. At the heart of it all, Britt's work on the Cold Fusion project becomes a ticking clock, its completion drawing closer even as the risks surrounding it multiply. The promise of what it could achieve is overshadowed by the danger it attracts, especially with Cullum's influence growing stronger as he edges toward freedom. Once he is fully out in the world, the fragile balance holding everything together may collapse entirely, leaving chaos in its wake. Valentine Cassadine's desire to step out of the shadows and help Anna Devane adds yet another layer of tension, particularly as Brennan inches closer to discovering where he has been hiding. Every move feels like it could be the one that triggers an irreversible chain reaction, and the sense of impending collision between these powerful forces becomes impossible to ignore. It's a slow burn, but one that is steadily building toward an explosion. And as if the world of Port Charles wasn't already teetering on the edge, the drama unfolding in the fashion world carries its own brand of intensity, one driven by ambition, pride, and the ghosts of the past. Katie Logan's determination to redefine Logan as a powerhouse brand pushes her into bold territory, but the pressure to succeed weighs heavily on her shoulders. The idea of bringing Hope Logan into the fold offers a glimmer of optimism, a chance to build something fresh and meaningful, especially with Deke Sharp's creative potential waiting to be unleashed. Yet beneath that hope lies an undeniable truth. Without a seasoned lead designer, the foundation they are building may not hold. And that realization opens the door to choices that could change everything. The names of potential designers drift through the conversation like echoes from another time, each one carrying its own history, its own complications. Clark Garrison's experience offers stability. Nicole Avant's return could reignite old tensions, and Amber Moore's presence would bring a spark of chaos that might either elevate or destroy everything Katie is trying to build. Even the possibility of Jack stepping into the role carries a poetic symmetry, tying together threads of family, legacy, and unresolved emotion. But none of these options carry the weight, the explosive, unpredictable danger of what comes next. Because looming over all of it is the possibility of Morgan DeWitt, a name that doesn't just stir memories but awakens something far more volatile. Her past with Ridge Forrester is not just complicated, it's deeply scarred by obsession, manipulation, and a descent into darkness that left lasting damage. Bringing her back into the fold wouldn't just be a business move, it would be an act of provocation, a calculated strike designed to reopen wounds that never truly healed. And if Bill Spencer is the one pulling the strings, it becomes something even more dangerous, a deliberate attempt to unleash chaos in the most personal way possible. Morgan's return wouldn't just shake the foundation of Logan and Forrester creations, it would send shockwaves through every relationship tied to Ridge and Brooke, turning old pain into present-day destruction. In both worlds, the path forward feels uncertain, each step carrying the risk of collapse or transformation. The characters stand at the edge of decisions that will define not only their futures, but the lives of everyone around them. Secrets are unraveling, alliances are shifting, and the past is clawing its way back into the present with a vengeance. And as the tension continues to rise, one thing becomes unmistakably clear. Nothing will remain the same once the truth finally comes to light, and the fallout will be as dramatic as it is unforgettable. The deeper these stories unfold, the more the emotional fault lines begin to crack wide open, exposing truths that can no longer remain buried. In Port Charles, the air itself feels charged with anticipation, as though every hallway, every quiet room, every lingering glance carries the weight of a revelation waiting to erupt. Carly Spencer finds herself trapped in a dangerous limbo, suspended between the life she has carefully constructed and the devastating truth threatening to dismantle it piece by piece. Every sound outside her door, every unexpected knock, every shadow crossing her threshold feels like a warning that her carefully hidden secrets are about to be dragged into the light. If Brennan discovers that Valentine Cassadine has been hidden under his nose, the consequences will extend far beyond betrayal. They could trigger a chain reaction powerful enough to destabilize everyone connected to them. The emotional stakes become almost unbearable as Carly struggles to maintain control, knowing full well that one wrong move could cost her everything she loves. For Brennan, the situation becomes increasingly personal, his sharp instincts telling him that something is deeply wrong, even if he cannot yet see the full picture. There is a dangerous calm to him, the kind that often comes before a storm, and if he uncovers Carly's deception, his response is unlikely to be measured or forgiving. His position, his power, and his pride all hang in the balance, making this more than just a personal betrayal. It is an affront to everything he represents. At the same time, his conflict with Willow escalates in unexpected ways as her efforts to undermine the WSB through congressional pressure place her directly in his line of fire. What began as political maneuvering quickly evolves into a deeply personal battle of wills, one where neither side is likely to back down. The clash between them promises to send shockwaves through Port Charles, drawing others into a conflict that could alter the landscape of power in the city itself. Meanwhile, Michael Corinthos moves forward with ruthless precision, convinced he has finally found the leverage he needs to dismantle Willow's defenses. There is a cold determination growing within him, a belief that he is acting for the greater good, even as his methods edge closer to dangerous territory. With Jacinda Bracken standing firmly by his side, Michael's strategy gains momentum, and every calculated move brings him closer to his goal. Yet, there is an unmistakable darkness in the path he has chosen, one that threatens to cost him more than he realizes. If his plan succeeds, the fallout may be impossible to contain. And if it fails, the consequences could destroy not only his relationship with Willow, but his standing within his own fractured family. At the same time, Elizabeth's relentless pursuit of the truth surrounding Drew Kane's desperate plea for help becomes one of the most emotionally compelling threads weaving through the city. Her refusal to let unanswered questions fade into silence speaks to her deep-rooted instinct to protect those she cares about, even when the truth may be painful. Every clue she uncovers adds another layer to the mystery, and with each revelation, the sense grows that Drew's cry for help was far more urgent and far more dangerous than anyone initially understood. Willow, caught between her mother's words and Elizabeth's suspicions, is left emotionally shaken, forced to confront the possibility that she has been manipulated. The tension between mother and daughter deepens with every unanswered question, threatening to fracture whatever fragile trust remains between them. Across another corner of Port Charles, the fragile and deeply complicated situation involving Rocco Falconeri reaches a critical turning point. Lulu Spencer's fear for her son manifests as fierce protectiveness, but her anger threatens to cloud her judgment just when clear thinking is needed most. Britt Westbourne's determination to shield Rocco becomes more intense by the day, fueled by a sense of responsibility that borders on desperation. Though their alliance is uneasy, there is a growing recognition between the two women that they may be stronger together than apart. Yet the danger surrounding them refuses to loosen its grip, especially as Cassius continues his delicate balancing act between deception and genuine concern. His connection to powerful forces like Sidwell and Cullum keeps him tethered to danger, making every decision he makes potentially catastrophic. Whether he ultimately chooses loyalty to his mission or to the people he has come to care about may determine all of their fates. The mystery surrounding Jordan Ashford's crash also edges closer to its breaking point as the investigation intensifies. Isaiah Gannon's future hangs by a thread, his every action scrutinized as authorities attempt to piece together what truly happened that night. Curtis remains relentless in his belief that Isaiah may be hiding something, and his determination to expose the truth is beginning to strain relationships across the board. Yet the possibility remains that this entire narrative has been built on false assumptions, and if so, the revelation could force everyone involved to confront painful truths about their own judgment. Brooklyn Quartermain's internal struggle only amplifies the emotional complexity of the situation. If she chooses to confess what she knows, or believes she knows, it could set off a chain reaction no one is prepared to handle, placing her directly in the crosshairs of her family's disapproval and potentially altering the course of the investigation entirely. And then there is the Cold Fusion Project, the volatile centerpiece of so much danger and intrigue. Britt's determination to see it through is nothing short of fierce, but the closer she gets to completion, the more perilous the situation becomes. Cullum's eventual release from General Hospital threatens to unleash a level of chaos that could spiral far beyond anyone's control. Once free, his influence will stretch farther and darker, intensifying the pressure on everyone connected to the project. Valentine's desire to assist Anna Devane further complicates matters, particularly as Brennan's suspicions continue to sharpen. The collision course between these forces feels inevitable, and when they finally collide, the impact is certain to be devastating. Far beyond Port Charles, another kind of storm is gathering in the glamorous but ruthless world of fashion, where ambition and revenge intertwine beneath polished surfaces and designer smiles. Katie Logan's determination to transform Logan into a legitimate powerhouse pushes her toward bold, risky decisions that could either elevate her to new heights or send everything crashing down. Liam Spencer's vision of bringing Hope Logan into the fold continues to gain traction, and the possibility of launching a fresh new line under Hope's name carries a powerful sense of optimism. There is something undeniably compelling about the idea. A clean slate, a bold statement, a chance for Hope to finally step into a creative identity that is wholly her own. With Deke Sharp potentially joining as part of the package, the pieces are beginning to align. Still, the glaring need for a commanding lead designer looms large over every conversation. The prospect of bringing back a familiar face carries both excitement and risk, with each possible candidate offering their own unique blend of history and drama. Yet none of those names carry the devastating dramatic potential of Morgan DeWitt. Her return would not simply be shocking, it would be seismic. She represents unresolved trauma, dangerous obsession, and a chapter of Ridge Forrester's life that was never fully closed. If Bill Spencer were to unleash her into the world of Logan, it would be more than strategic sabotage. It would be a declaration of war. Morgan's reappearance would ignite every unresolved tension tied to Ridge and Brooke, dragging decades-old pain into the present with terrifying force. Her fixation on Ridge, once powerful enough to drive her into acts of madness, would likely resurface with chilling intensity. And if she has spent years refining her craft as a designer while carrying that obsession within her, she could emerge as both a creative genius and a destructive force unlike anything the fashion world has seen. Brooke and Ridge would be forced to confront a nightmare they thought had long been buried, while Katie and Bill would find themselves caught in the dangerous fallout of their own decision. The emotional and professional destruction Morgan could unleash would ripple through every corner of their lives. As both worlds hurtle forward, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. The past is no longer content to remain in the shadows. It is returning with purpose, dragging unfinished business, buried betrayals, and unresolved obsessions back into the light. The coming days promise confrontations years in the making, emotional reckonings no one can avoid, and twists capable of changing everything forever. And as the tension continues to mount, viewers are left with the electrifying certainty that the most explosive moments are still to come.